And welcome back, everyone. Ladies, gentlemen,
Hello, Mario.
ladies and gentledems, welcome to tonight's Backyard Baseball stream. The final one that we'll be doing for a while because, we may move on to some other sports, from the Backyard series. But given how they're probably going to be continually updating this one, it might be something that we return to in the future. But we are going to be finishing out our first season with the Humongous Hornets. It's time for Humongous Hornets baseball, brother. Hell yeah. Our boys and our gals made it to the finale, chat. They made it to the big end. They made it to the Super Colosso Dome, where they will be playing for the Ultra Grand Championship of the universe. I'm pretty sure that was the first name of the Universal Championship before they smothered it in goddamn, strawberry jam. Hi, Whoops. Welcome on into tonight's Slum Boy Club meeting. It is a best of 5 series here to end off this season, chat, as we take on the Atomic Oysters in the Tokyo Dome. In the fucking Egg Dome right here with Johnny Ace, Michael Barton, Kenta Kobashi, and Jun Akiyama. All 4 of them in chat right now. All 4 of them in the fucking audience right now. Son of a bitch, Twitch made me sit through an ad for Gen AI game. Screw you, Twitch. Well, listen, man. To my knowledge, Backyard Baseball does not have any Gen AI in it. So, question for you, Steph. If you had to pick anyone from this team to come to Clubber Island, who would I pick? Dude, that's an insane fucking question. I don't know. Well, I mean, we're missing a money man, dude. I think Jorge Garcia would be a good pull. Either that or we need to get my pinhead over here, Pete Wheeler. I kind of want to stick away from Pablo because he's kind of the obvious answer. But I'm thinking either
One
Pete,
last thing I wanted to mention regarding
Jorge.
the topic. What really bothers me about Hasbro using AI on their site is that they could have easily used official stock art for their site, but they didn't.
I mean, listen, man, I've seen that freaking stock image of Pinkie Pie probably hundreds of times over the past 15 years. And they could have used that, but they didn't. They could have, just tweened something together in Photoshop, and they just didn't do it. Jorge Garcia as the island's resident legal expert would be amazing. I mean, everyone on that island would feel the power, brother. Everyone on that island would feel the absolute power of Jorge Garcia right there. He's got the legal smarts and he's the money man, dude. He fulfills so much shit, Either him or Pete Wheeler, just because I feel like Pete yucking it up with the Fiend would be absolute awesomeness. It would totally reek of awesomeness, dude. I feel like that would just be a great piece of business right there. Kenny's hard because I don't think that you can have a disabled representation like that on Clubber Island, unfortunately. So even though he's the GOAT, even though he's Kenny by God Kawaguchi, I don't think that he's gonna be in the running. Mikey Thomas is a runner-up, though, just because he's been carrying this team on his back for multiple games. So yeah, that would probably be my 3 picks right there. Either Mikey, Jorge, or Pete. One of those 3 characters. Mikey Thomas found that dog in him laying the going. I know! Dude, he's so sick. Figuratively and literally, he's sick. Hold on. Literally, aside from Pete Wheeler, he is second in the running for the most friggin' home runs on this team and he's the leader in RBIs, second most hits. Like, he's been walked 2 times throughout.
Mario.
He's had no strikeouts. He's the only guy on this team that has no strikeouts. He's actually goated, chat. In terms of an at-bat, Mikey Thomas is leading the pack right now. I feel like if you added Pete Wheeler to Clubber Island, there would be some sort of significant interaction with him and Carl. Dude. Dude, fucking Pete Wheeler interacting with Carl Brutana Ladalewski. That just feels like it would happen in freaking Aqua Team. I mean, that just feels like that would be like, you know, something that happened in Aqua Team. Maybe not Pete Wheeler, but like a Pete Wheeler type character. Someone that has a Pete Wheeler type beat, chat.
Yo. Today
Yo.
marks another year of glorious baseball for all the world to see.
Or 5 ducks.
That's 2 more ducks than our last game.
Yeah, next we're gonna be counting the frogs, right?
That would be quite riveting.
Dude, she's been going back to her thesaurus again. I know it.
Danny, are you implying you don't enjoy my company?
No, but I am implying your puns may get Vinny to retire if you catch my drift.
All right, I won't use any more puns.
Dude, he could have thrown it back in her face and say your puns are bound to make Vinny the Gooch croak. Hey, kid, you wanna explain why one of my freaking car's windows are broken and there's a baseball in the driver's seat? I hit a touchdown, mister. Pretty cool, right? I don't know which team I'm on, but I hope that they're real happy with my progress. Speaking of Aqua Teen, I'm looking forward to seeing Robot Chicken's Adult Swim 25th anniversary special. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Pete Wheeler in that. Come on. Come on, and going up to fucking Pivot Charlie. So kid, what's up? What's up, guy? Got you down the dumps. Well, you see, sir. Well, you see, sir, usually I'm good at taking things apart and putting them back together again. But this time, I broke apart my family's marriage, and I don't know how to fix that. But this time, I broke apart my mom and dad's marriage. I don't know how to fix that, sir. Can you help me with that one? Okay. Humongous Hornets versus the Atomic Oysters, chat.
Look out! Here comes the newcomer, ready to rock this stadium.
The crowd is buzzing for the newcomer. No pressure, kid. Just the entire neighborhood waiting to see if you're the real deal.
Holy shit, dude. Okay.
Up
Now,
to pitch is the coolest kid on the block.
Atomic Oysters, we got those from Walmart, too. Yummy microplastics.
Hello, Mario.
Oh shit, the greatest game of all time. The greatest, dude, it's the greatest series of all time in the greatest game of all time. Juby, how are you doing? Welcome on in. Pim. Oh, but don't worry, little boy. We can help get your mom and dad back together and make you all smile.
Right into center field.
I mean, that would be pretty good, mister, because right now, I'm not smiling. No one's smiling right now.
Ready to deal.
A new face steps in as batter. Let's see if the kids got the swing to match the swagger.
Rounder through the gap.
Holy shit! I should probably let the two of you know, though, that Well, people say I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, but I can run real good. If that helps, if that can help you make me smile again.
Field. Duck for cover. That's a foul ball.
If it helps you make me smile again, I think it should be known that I can run real good. And dude, he wouldn't be lying. Like, we've seen this man run. He can run real fucking good, okay?
Runner on first.
Oh god, what if Uncle Ruckus pops up somewhere in the Adult Swim special?
Big dreams and a bigger swing. It's our favorite rookie.
Let's see if this.
I half expect that to happen. Like,
or if they're just
Chopper to
like have the Boondocks been like shown to be in it or no?
got him. That's an out. You can do it. Step
I love backyard baseball a normal amount, I promise. Well, you're here for a good time, brother, because we've been playing backyard baseball in some form or fashion for like the past few months. Yeah, fucking snubbing the Boondocks, like that would be crazy because like when I think of Adult Swim, you know, they're like one of the ones I also think of. I mean, like they're pretty different from like, you know, a lot of, you know,
That's the inning, folks.
a lot of the Adult Swim, you know, contemporaries. But that's kind of what makes them stand out, you know? I haven't seen anything yet, but C-Lab 2021 and Mike Tyson will, you know, be on the special. I mean, I know Aqua Teen's gonna be on there. I know Smiling Friends will be on there. I know that, like, one of the jokes in there is that Rick and Morty are too important to be there. And so they're represented there by, like, mascot facsimiles of themselves.
Looking a bit confused, we have Pete Wheeler stepping up to the plate.
Which, like, in 2026 is a pretty crazy stance, I feel like. Like, you're telling me Pim and Charlie aren't... like, you're telling me Pim and Charlie aren't too good to be here, but Rick and Morty are. Get out of here, brother.
This one's coming in with some heat.
2 strikes.
I mean, we know who the fuck is for the boys and who isn't at that point, you know?
What a rip!
Oh, nice! Yeah, just stay on first base, brother. It's fine. Also, we got... Also, this opposing team looks pretty stacked. We got Vicky and
Even though
Vinny here. The double V's, brother.
English, we all know he's a rad dude.
Venture Bros and Metal Apocalypse will also be there. Hold on. Also, Tim and Garrett. Dude, I did see Tim and Eric in there, too. Ah, fuck. I need to get my swing timing back.
2 strikes.
Now is not the time to choke. That's right.
Where'd the ball go?
Oh, shit.
For the second.
Nice.
Runners on first and second.
Uh-oh. That's not good.
Yeah, that's fine. It's just a shame that Norm Macdonald isn't around to be the pigeon from Mike Tyson Mysteries in this.
It's Reese Worthington up to bat.
Reese Worthington up to bat.
They did, in fact, dig out a few deep cuts, yeah. I feel like Mike Tyson Mysteries is kind of up there, you know, as like a deeper cut, right?
One strike. Still some breathing.
And yes, Steph, Xavier Renegade Angel. Oh, fucking shit, dude. What doth life? No way!
The fielder's gonna
Okay, I thought that Reese was about to, like, just completely get it out of the park.
You're on the board. Go. Bless
What
you.
doth
Mike
life?
Davis is up to bat.
He has a power.
Is it just a mortal plane that we are forced to walk on? Or is it vice versa?
Yikes.
You would like to be me, wouldn't... You would like to be me, wouldn't me? But it's no matter. You snows, you lows. I'm not gonna lie, chat. When I was writing shit for the fucking Giraverse, Xavier Renegade Angel was like my main source of inspiration.
Smacks it down the line.
That was a truly unimpressive performance.
carrying the best bat money combined.
Will the robot chicken special have a reference to Mongo Wrestling Alliance? That's the real question. Mongo Wrestling Alliance. Okay, well, hold on. I feel like we're getting into some lore here that I don't know about. Really depressing thing is, George Lowe will not be reprising his role. Rest in peace to Mr. George Lowe, absolutely. Nice!
Bases are loaded, and the crowd is at the edge of their
Back
seats.
and forth. I'm getting tired just watching.
Nice.
No one has studied baseball like Stephanie Morgan. Let's see if she can.
For some reason, because I've been watching a lot of Aqua Teen lately, chat, right? And I'm on, like, the part... I'm on the bit of the show's run where, like, every single season just has a different title because they kept getting canceled. And, I'm on the one that's, like, Aqua Unit Patrol Squad, right?
Always a fan favorite. Kenny.
And in the beginning, like, you know, two-parter,
Kid makes good
Uh,
contact with the ball.
Batter beware. This one's raring to go.
Shake is, like, dealing with you know, with, like, the serious interpretation of George Lowe. And, like, George is, like, trying to sell Shake on, like, you know, on, like, a storage facility.
Didn't know he was
One that he's fucking trying to give away for free. And at some point, George Lowe is just like, yes, it's free. Everything's fucking free now that we're on the fucking honors system. And, like, I've just been, like, saying that to myself lately as a vocal stim. Because, like, oh, shit! That's a fucking grand slam, I think! Hold on.
a grand slam.
Holy shit! Mr. Clanky! The best clanker of them all, brother!
Luann Louie and her trusty son.
Oh my gosh!
Some say that bear holds the spirit.
But no, I've just been repeating, yes, it's free. Everything's fucking free now that we're on the fucking honors system to myself ad fucking nauseum right now. And, like, I'm saying it under my breath,
We have Pete Wheeler stepping up.
just so, like, no one, like, in, you know, the night shift hears me. And I'm really hoping that they don't, because, like, if they hear this guy just, like, you know, mouthing obscenities to himself, like, you know, underneath his breath, I might get reported to HR. And what will I tell the HR guy, chat? Oh, I'm sorry. George Lowe just fucking gave me... Oh, I'm sorry, I shouldn't curse. George Lowe just, like, instilled me with, like, a crazy vocal stem.
No pressure, kid. Just the entire neighborhood waiting to see if you're the...
Strike one.
I'm not super upset with my job.
I'm
Yet.
you, batter.
I just think that, George Lowe is a very funny man.
Oh, worm burner. Foul ball.
And fuck you if you don't think so. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I know I shouldn't curse. Oh, nice.
He strikes your route.
Holding that shit down is Kenny.
Just like a swan, she may look graceful, but Vicky Kawaguchi is a little terror at that.
She's a dancer, the top speller in her grade, a swimmer, but a batter? I guess we'll just wait and see.
The only AI we support is Mr. Clanky. I mean, he's the one that has the freaking juice, man.
Tracking it down.
Oh man, dude, I just realized it's sibling rivalry there. Wow. Can someone go to the ball, please? Like, what are we doing, dude? Why are we just giving Vicky the base?
Neighborhood's newest ace, towing the rubber and ready to deal.
A new face steps in as batter. Let's see if the kid...
Remind me next time to put on, remind me at the next at bat to put on, Hiroshi Tanahashi's music for, Pablo Sanchez, chat.
Hard past the mound.
Now that was a nice play.
You want to talk deep cuts? Drinky Crow is in the special, and when he sees a tidal wave full of anime characters, he yells, "Tsunami!" I saw that! I fucking saw that clip.
A solid pitch with personality.
My main question is 12 ounce mouse in it, or no?
Side retire.
Was fun while it lasted.
Okay, Hiroshi Tanahashi, let's do it. Get the okay, I'm reading goddamn I'm reading Ko-Fi right now. Get the homunculus a vending machine bag of Cheetos and a cold can of cream soda. Oh, cream soda. I love that, dude. Infinite, I knew I liked you, man. Get over here. You, you like cream soda? Infinite, bro, I knew I liked you, man. Come over here. Big Red, yes! Big Red! The Big Red cream soda is so goated, dude. It's so goated. Hold on. In the immortal words of George Lowe himself, fund it. I mean, that's what I'm George Lowe, dude. I mean, that's what fucking George Lowe meant. He meant that you need to give money to the long boy. But only if you want. Only if you want, chat. Give all of your banks to GirafaStev and the Long Boy Club, and none of your banks to Twitch.tv. Alright, here we go.
Father, accept my challenge.
To the music!
You, me, Wembley. Cheetos on a
shit!
pole match.
That was perfect! Straight down the middle, dude! Wow! That could not have been more perfect. Wow! Dude, Pablo Sanchez, straight down the middle, to the music. That could not have. Then Reese Worthington gets one too!
Touchdown! I mean, goal! No, I mean home run!
Oh my god!
Great axe coming from the
Oh my freaking god, dude! Oh, yeah, you shot. Oh my goodness.
Thomas
Is this a home run derby? Dude, this whole inning may as well be a home run derby.
that one's headed
Only thing missing is a Mikey Thomas homer, dude. The only thing that's missing now is a Mikey Thomas homer.
a long line.
You can't win them all.
Ah, well, unfortunately, it will not be Mikey Thomas getting one this inning.
He's bonkers at batting. It's Jorge Garcia.
If money could buy home runs, Jorge would be.
Why does he look like he's wearing his glasses upside down?
A little outside.
Wow, dude.
Don't let the new face.
Father, accept my challenge. You, me, Wembley Stadium, Cheetos on a pole match.
rough. That's ball 2.
Dude, I'm in, dude. I'm all in on that stuff.
And that's a strike.
And when I win, I'm gonna make sure that you have nothing but Cheez-Its for the whole freaking year.
Headed to right field. Out at first.
I got it!
I do have, like, something in mind for, like, if we end up going
This one out of the
short on this series, chat. Like, if it goes 3-0, then I do have something in mind. I have a match for us to watch, actually. It is 1 hour long, so it should be able to fill the gap of time that we have from a complete series watch out.
Embarrassing.
and throw.
It is a 1 hour freaking match between Bryan Danielson and Roderick Strong from 2006 Ring of Honor, I believe. And Well, if this goes long, we're going to be watching that.
Speed Demon up to bat. Give me one right through the strike zone. That ball's got a chance.
I feel like hitting for power was probably not the play. There we go. Nice.
On first and second.
Don't worry, little white boy. White Jesus will save all the good little white people like you and me from this storm. The rest of y'all gonna have to fend for yourselves. A shame most of y'all can't swim. What exactly are you doing?
Sliced that one.
What exactly are you booing, Bri? No way! That's 2 in a row from Mr. Clanky, dude.
Coming back. Did anyone bring a spare?
They're booing Ruckus. Yeah, that's fucking fair. Dude, Mr. Clanky is locked in. He ran every simulation and he is ready for what the hell ever, dude.
Underestimate her. She's speedier than a grizzly and will run the bases before the catcher can even get. It's fun to watch a girl.
What, dude, what is happening? We are just completely just annihilating right now.
Looking a bit confused.
These balls are straight up being killed to death.
My turn.
All that's missing from this team's performance is a Luann homer. Well, I'll give you a Pete Wheeler homer. How does that sound?
That's a ball.
I'll go ahead and give you a Pete Wheeler homer. How about that one, brother?
Clobbered it.
Damn it.
That'll do it for them this inning. Like a people.
I'm sorry, chat.
Swap sides.
As in, we're sending Pete Wheeler back home so he can rest
Big home run
for tomorrow's game.
for Tony Del Vecchio.
Every time Tony steps up to bat, I want a lollipop. I wonder if he has any sour green apple ones.
I mean, dude, it's either those or, like, the blue flavored ones, right?
Let's see if you can handle this.
If you're not getting the green apple, I'm a Jolly Rancher type candy. Why are we just going past the ball, dude?
Loops it up.
Runner on first.
What are we doing over here? I realize that we're up by 11-0, but you need to, like, lock in, otherwise we're gonna lose that.
Keep your eye on the ball.
But you need to lock in, man, or else we're gonna fucking lose that.
Goes for the diving catch. Sings it. Taking the mound today.
These terms are acceptable. I'm sorry I couldn't hold up my end of the bargain. That's my bad, brother. Or maybe it's not, dude.
Snags it off the dirt. Say
Or maybe not, dude.
Look out! Here comes the newcomer, ready to rock this stadium. Get ready to see some baseball.
But no, you're right. You're right in chat, Yam. What's not to love? It's big, it's red, drink it. I mean, that's for freaking sure, dude. I'm drinking that shit all day.
Pop way up. Stretches out for the
Personally, I love Red 40 as much as the next guy, okay?
runners on first.
Big Red, drink it. Are we talking Red Bull? No.
This batter is
No, we're talking about a soda called Big Red, brother. We're talking about the soda, Big Red.
one strike.
Nice. Got the chase.
I think my fastball is 112 miles per hour. A clean pitch down the line.
Strike two.
I mean, you don't really see Big Red that much, although, to be perfectly honest with you. Oh my god.
That's all, folks.
Got him to chase, dude.
If I had a hat, I'd throw it
Wow.
so high it wouldn't come down.
They killed them to death, brother.
About baseball.
Friggin', dude, Mr. Clanky got a grand slam and just like a solo home run, and yet Reese Worthington is the MVP.
Shot, but Humongous
What did he do?
has earned the right to celebrate.
Now that's what you call a comeback. Or maybe not.
Depends on
Or maybe not, dude.
we meet again. This is the one and only VTG.
I'm sorry, but Reese Worthington did not need that MVP, dude. Mr. Clanky got 7 RBIs and 2 home runs. Is there a Mrs. Clanky? Never my wildest dreams. I think I see Karo Brutananaluski interacting with the likes of Dr. Roxo, the rock and roll clown. Surprised that wasn't an Aqua Teen episode, TBH. I mean, dude, I'm still waiting for the friggin', I'm still waiting for the Aqua Teen episode where Pete Wheeler comes in. I'm popping heavy for that shit when it drops. He definitely would have done lines with Roxo after a Foreigner concert. He would. He'd bring the big ass fucking belt there with him too. The one that killed the Moonanites. All right, here we go.
This is Sunny Day, and I'm here with Finny the Gooch, ready for another game of baseball!
You know, Sonny, it was on a day just like this that a baseball came crashing through our front living room window.
That sounds horrible! Did you ever find out who did it?
Well, I never said I didn't know who did it.
Ah, well, let's get right into the game! This time, we've got Humongous.
Now,
Boys
please,
going head
if
to
you
head
would,
against
get the
Atomic
fuck out of my way.
Oysters.
How hard could it possibly be? Ice motherfucking cream.
Let's put the pedal to the metal.
What the fuck was even the line? Hold on. Meatwad crash it. This right here.
My hormones are going nuts. Now please, if you would, get the out of my way. I mean, how many times I gotta write ice cream on this list before someone gets in gear and brings home the ice cream? Maybe I should get a steak knife and etch it in your mother forehead. How hard can it be? Ice mother cream. I guess that's the price I pay for living with two morons.
What happened to courtesy?
Look out! Here comes the newcomer, ready to rock the stadium.
The crowd is buzzing for the newcomer. No pressure, kid.
That's so.
Entire neighborhood waiting to see if you're the real deal.
What's that?
This one's coming in at some outpitch 10K. Right back up the middle.
Mods kill this man. Mods kill this man right now.
Ready to deal.
Now here's a kid who looks like
For he does not know ball.
run trot in the mirror this morning.
Right back to the
No, that's fucking Meatwad, brother.
Runner on first.
Now that's Meatwad.
stepping up to the plate with big
Okay, the SpongeBob censorship killed me.
rookie.
A new face steps in as batter. Let's see if the kid's got the swing to match the swagger.
Ooh, a tricky play, batter. No one gets past these.
It's not quite vocal sim levels yet. This is my Meatwad voice, Tim.
Give it up for Vicky
No, I get it. Ain't making me laugh, but I get it.
I'd like to see you dance ballet on point. She's strong.
I'm trying to think of like what mine would be, dude.
I suggest you don't
It's a little bit hard because like I don't know how people can fucking do a Meatwad voice, dude.
strike two.
I don't know how people can do it.
This cannon is
I don't know how like Dave Willis did it. But it just sounds so freaking strained. Well, no, like not even strained. It just sounds like completely insane, like how he's able to get that inflection. you know?
Strike 3. That's a wrap.
Better luck next time, kid.
He's really going to knock it out of the park. Pete Wheeler has stepped up to bat.
Wheelie is the fastest member on the team.
All right,
as long
let's
as
friggin-
he's headed in the right direction.
All right, let's see if this is another blowout, because last time was a complete just thrashing from the humongous Hornets. It's actually kind of insane.
What a rip!
Pete Wheeler cannot, dude, he cannot get a hit to save his life right now, I'm afraid.
Sanchez walking up to bat.
In the big game, he's like just, he's like crumbling under the pressure, I feel like. He is straight up crumbling out here in the big moment.
On the line. Chucks it over. First base is occupied. He may not be breathing easy, but Reese Worthington is calm at bat.
No, you know what my vocal sim for friggin' Meatwad is? It's when, it's the episode that features, it's the episode that features MCP pants,
Nice play
right?
by the defense.
And
He's blown his nose. Now he's ready to blow the ball out of the park.
and like Frylock is showing Meatwad like other, you know, musicians, and they're all stuff from like centuries earlier, right? Just like stuff that, just stuff that like even people who are more kind of, you know, into music, they would probably not listen to recreationally. And one of them is like Beethoven. And Meatwad calls him Beat Oven. And just the phrase Beat Oven is something that sticks in my head so fucking much.
Stepping up to the plate with big dreams and a bigger
He
swing.
says it like Beat Oven, like he like he can't fucking believe like what's being like, you know, put in front of him, like what's being like, you know, offered to him. Like Beat Oven, you gotta get this out of my face right now, dude.
I'm gonna get you, batter. We want a battle.
Are they cool like MCP pants? Well, they wore them pantalones back then. Just has me fucking dead, dude.
Here comes the neighborhood's newest.
They wore pantalones. Just has me fucking dead, dude.
Let's see if this kid can actually ball, or if they're just good standing there.
What I'm curious about is that Adult Swim is apparently doing a Robot Chicken special specifically for Cartoon Network's 30th anniversary. I mean, the Adult Swim block is, I mean, like, if you just,
A ruthless
I mean, not that you would, but if you look at, you know, Cartoon Network's, like, you know, daily lineup right now, Adult Swim is a larger block than Cartoon Network is, you know?
with some strong pop. Maybe it's a lucky lollipop.
Which really just kind of says, you know, quite a few things. But, you know, I feel like that, you know, with like Adult Swim, you know, being like, you know, the main thing now,
Out. That's a wrap.
why wouldn't you, you know, do something on, you know, that block? You know, to celebrate the network's anniversary.
Money can buy. It's Jorge Garcia.
Jorge is about to lay down the law on the baseball field. Maybe that's why he's dressed like...
A swing.
Check the
and
media
a
share.
miss.
And that's
Okay.
a strike. Yikes. That's a ball.
Dude, Johnny Bravo looks insane. Chat, hold on.
Slips through the gap.
That
Mm.
player is
All right, they're holding it down a little bit more. Chat, Dan just sent, he just sent a Johnny Bravo, or like he just sent like a screenshot from the Robot Chicken special. And just look at the state of Johnny Bravo here. I was like looking at this image, right? And I was thinking to myself, why does this look so weird? Like, why does this look so strange to my eyes? And then I look over to the left, and I see him. Look at Johnny Bravo, this big ass hair over here. like you got two versions of Velma here. It looks like you got Batman, you got number 1, you got Ben 10 here as well. And they just have Johnny Bravo. They specifically sculpted Johnny Bravo's head here to be as just large as possible. Like, they didn't even try to make him fit in with everybody else. He's just like, yep, I'm Johnny Bravo. Oh, mama. That is the funniest thing that I've seen in a minute. Wow. That's awesome. All right, here we go.
I'm sure Stephanie is going to cut this one out of the park.
I feel like this is going to be a war of... Dude, I think that this... I think this game is going to be a war of attrition here. I fear this game's going to be a war of attrition.
Clean pitch flying straight through the center.
Yep, it's looking like it, dude. Who's going to step up and send someone home?
Kenny is a strong hitter. This young batter means business.
Who is going to step up here, chat?
Rips one.
That one's a foul. Somebody get a broom. We've got a sweep job in the stands.
Strike 2.
I thought that was going to be a ball. That's a ball.
That's ball 2.
There you go.
Lines one.
Nice. All right, finally someone gets on freaking base. Wow.
We've got a runner on.
Good job, Kenny.
Our
Finally someone gets on base.
Dude. Clanky is up to bat. I didn't know he was even allowed to play. And that's a strike.
Wow! 3 in a row! 3 at-bats in a row, and Mr. Clanky is hitting home runs. Wow!
Dinner time because that kid is going straight home.
Honestly, I'm not sure if he's legal.
Her trusty sidekick Teddy are at bat.
Some say that bear holds the spirit of a legendary ball player. And
Wow. Okay.
Great player. Strike 1.
Yeah, I don't know if Mr. Clanky is... I don't know if he should be allowed to play here in this final series. The best bat machine, Mr. Clanky. Literally the best bat machine right here. Oh, they found a hole. Dude, Luann found a hole in the friggin' defense.
Looking a bit confused, we have Pete Wheeler stepping up to the plate.
Wow.
Touchdown.
That's what Pete said to Carl. I'm gonna hit a touchdown.
That swing must have been practiced for hours.
Runners on first.
Clanker's always taking away jobs from humans.
The living legend, Pablo Sanchez, is here to show us how it's done.
Vamos a ganar.
Clobbered it.
I mean, listen, man. Results are results.
Swings it
We're here to win this game, okay?
across the plate. Safe and sound.
Only Pete Wheeler could clear that distance, dude. Wow.
He may not be breathing easy, but Reese Worthington is calm at bat.
Come on, pitcher. Give me the intentional walk.
You will not be getting the intentional walk, brother. I'm gonna need to make sure that you get on base.
That's a slow
I
roller.
got it. I got
Ah, that's dookie, dude.
Next inning.
I mean, that's fine. We're on the board.
Stepping up to the plate with big dreams and a bigger swing, it's our favorite rookie.
Okay, I was about to say, dude.
For the newcomer. No pressure, kid. Just the entire neighborhood.
All eyes are on the pitch. I got it. picks it up.
You do not have it, brother. It's okay.
Seen such a play?
Stepping up to the plate with big dreams and a bigger swing, it's our favorite rookie.
A new face steps in as batter. Let's see if the kid's got the swing to match the swagger.
Get it in there.
It's mine!
Dude, we are dog walking these guys. I was a little afraid it was going to be like this, you know?
I think my fastball
I was a little bit afraid that, like,
pitching with style.
I was a little bit afraid that the series was going to be like this.
It was fun while it lasted.
Where, like, we're just absolutely dog walking these dudes.
You know what today tastes
I'm sorry, what did Pablo do to deserve MVP?
when your team is winning? Perfect.
That was a thrilling finish, with both teams showing true grit. But the victory belongs to Humongous Hornets today.
That was a satisfying win.
What exactly did he do in this game? Because from my perspective, only one guy hit a home run, and that was Mr. Clanky. Alright? Only one guy hit a home run here, and that was Mr. Clanky. I don't know what you guys are on. Alright. Wow. Okay, well. I'm gonna say it, chat. The Atomic Oysters need to friggin' step it up here. Because they are now... because they are now 0-2 to us. And I would like to have a bit more competition here in this final series. But if they don't want to give it to me, then, you know, I'm fine with just, you know, taking the win as I see it. It's absolutely okay. But first, chat, before we go into the next game here, I'm going to go ahead and do this. Before we go into the next game, let's go ahead and run an ad real fast. See you all in a few minutes.
It's break time. Where are the Cheetos, my dudes?
Don't take it personally. Does that make sense?
You gotta see it!
All right.
Mom!
I know they can't.
Hey, Mom, check out Toby's new trick!
Oh my! Toby! No! Make him stop!
Time to get your carpet cleaned? Call today about our $99 special.
Call 1-800-STEAMER. Stanley Steamer gets carpet cleaner.
You squeeze, you roll, you press. Now your bathroom looks a mess. And why is it impossible to get out the last drop of toothpaste? There's got to be a better way. Introducing Touch and Brush, the hands-free toothpaste dispenser that works with just a touch. Touch and Brush works with virtually any size tube and secures easily onto any surface in seconds without any tools. Watch, press on the airtight suction cups, insert your favorite toothpaste, then pop on the cover. There's no electric or batteries to replace. It's that easy. Touch and Brush neatly dispenses the perfect amount of toothpaste in just 1 second every time. So now sticky bathroom sinks are a thing of the past. The secret is our patented technology. As the toothbrush gently pushes the pump arm, vacuum force pulls fresh toothpaste from the tube and dispenses it right on the brush. The best part is Touch and Brush uses every last bit of toothpaste, so there's no struggling for that last drop. Then when you're done, simply place in a new one, and you're ready to touch and brush again. Tired of the kids leaving behind a morning mess? No problem, because now it's easy and cool to brush before school. You can even apply toothpaste with just one hand. Amazing! Touch and Brush looks great with any bathroom decor. Touch and Brush, the hands-free toothpaste dispenser that works with just a touch.
Coochie coochie coo! He so has your peanut butter.
Well, he's got your jelly.
Time for a feeding. Ah, jam it.
Crazy good!
Om nom nom. Oh, excuse me, we're back, my dudes.
Welcome back to Raw. Steph, have you seen any of the Djibouti dubs for these kinds of commercials? No. I've seen Moist Critical's ones, you know? I've seen Moist Critical's versions of that, but not really many other people's.
I'm Sunny Day, reporting to you live with Vinny.
All right, this could be the one where we freaking just take it home here, chat.
Game of baseball yourself?
This right here could be the one that we take it home.
Try out for the team. I hear they do sign-ups at the start of every summer.
Personally, I'm hoping that, you know, the Atomic Oysters
Literature and
show a little bit more fire here.
I don't know. I love baseball?
Vinny, you aren't here to promote your book again.
That's what you think. But
Is
my
the homunculus the
all
Vinny to
best
your sunny day?
the season of 03 and
Yeah.
Why, I bet stars like Pablo.
Just replace the corn dogs that he eats with goddamn Cheetos and you're all
That's the
good.
best part. I got it translated just for him. I've got a cousin who speaks Spanish and rewrote the whole thing for him.
Wow, that's really thoughtful, Vinny.
Thank you. I'm a very thoughtful guy, which is why you should support me by buying my book. I Love Baseball. Copies are sold next to the refreshments.
And there it is.
Look, Miss Day, this gig is good.
Listen, dude, he's out here hustling, okay?
Towards his corn dogs. It ain't on this salary.
We don't have a salary.
Exactly.
Let's just...
Listen, man, you cannot put it past him hustling like that, okay? Especially at the end of the season. Like how's he gonna pay for his corn dogs after this game? You know? I mean, once this series is over, how else is he gonna pay for this shit? You know? He's gotta wait until next summer to do it. Alright. Let's fucking do it, chat. Final game potentially here.
Now here's a
Final game potentially right here.
practice their home run trot in the mirror this morning.
Now, chat.
Up to pitch is the coolest kid on the... Swing goes the batter.
Wait, hold on.
Up.
What?
Runner on first.
That should have been out. Nah. That should have been out, dude. Come on.
And a bigger swing. It's our favorite rookie.
Let's see if this kid can actually ball, or if they're just good standing there. Personally, I like the sneak.
Popped it up.
What? No! Jorge!
Rifles it.
Dude, is the challenge just gonna come from my team being slow as shit here?
Just
Like, what are we doing?
She may look graceful, but Vicky Kawaguchi is a little terror at bat.
She's a dancer, the top speller in her grade.
Alright. Sibling rivalry here. Get that! Oh, nice.
And that's a
It's almost time for a 3-minute Pringles break, my dudes.
I like Pringles, brother.
2 strikes. Pressure's on.
If you put one of those to-go cups in front of me, I'm noshing that shit down, alright?
swing at the
Ah! Kenny! Kenny was cerebral at the mound there.
The newcomer, ready to rock this stadium.
No, chat.
who looks like
So-
they practice their home run trot in the
So I
mirror.
don't know how much I've been talking about this lately, but I do still plan on bringing a sign, either bringing a sign to like AEW All Out here soon. What? Oh shit! Ah! Are you kidding me?
Even close.
What? Pfft. Get back on there, Clanky. It's fine.
Solid hit.
Just goes right over our heads. Oh boy. Alright, here it is. The challenge I wanted.
Look out. Here comes the newcomer.
The Atomic Oysters are not gonna be leaving
A new face
without their pound of flesh here.
Let's see if the kids got the swing to match this.
Oh!
Hot.
Mikey Thomas's cannon of an arm. Wow.
This
Dude, his friggin' immune system is off the charts.
Wow. The
Nice.
isn't messing around here.
That's 2.
All right. In the slow ball at the bottom.
Strike 3. That's
Minimize the damage.
a wrap, folks.
Good job. But no, I like Pringles. So much so that I would lick them and then put them back in the can when I was a kid. Ugh. Ugh. No. No, chat.
Looking a bit confused.
I do plan on bringing a sign to friggin' AEW All Out with everyone's names on it.
Ran so fast that his shoes fell off.
Who am donated to our charity event a couple of months ago.
Goes the batter.
I still need to make the sign, but I will be bringing it to friggin' All Out here next month already. Jeez, already it's gonna be friggin' September, chat.
Looks like he's ready to belt one out of the park.
This year feels like it just friggin' passed me by. It feels like it passed like all of us by a little bit.
Down towards center.
I don't know if it's just a consequence of me getting older, but this year just feels like it vanished.
The postage collecting kid has come to stamp out the competition. It's Reese Worthington up to bat.
Reese Worthington up to bat.
But no, going back to what I was talking about earlier, I am going to All Out, you know, with a friend, and we were going to go to a little music festival called Riot Fest. As like a, it's like a complimentary event to it. Oh shit!
Rifles it. Runners on first and
It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. We were gonna go to Riot Fest,
Mikey Thomas is
but unfortunately, it just doesn't line up very well with the pay-per-view. So, in order to cope with not being able to actually go to it, I've been listening to a lot of the bands on the lineup, and that includes bands like Pierce the Veil, Tool, Rise Against, Bad Religion, The Paradox, goddamn, I'm trying to think of some others. Social, Distortion, Descendants, so on and so forth. And what I've been kind of gleaning from my time of listening to these bands is that I think that we just culturally and artistically, everything peaked in the mid-2000s, chat. Especially if you were a punk guy. Oh shit, go back. What about Insane Clown Posse, who will also be at... Oh yeah, ICP's gonna be at Riot Fest too. My favorite AEW stars, ICP, are gonna be at Riot Fest as well. That's sick as hell, honestly. Yeah, that is... Yeah, that's a fly out, dude. Easy fly out there from Stephanie Morgan.
always a fan favorite. Kenny Kawaguchi is up to bat.
If this kid makes good contact with the ball, it's the last you'll ever see of him.
Ball one.
But no, I just think that we culturally and artistically, we all peaked in the mid-2000s.
Side retire.
Because when you look at the mid-2000s, that's when a lot of these artists' like best work came out, I feel like.
Rumor has it, his lollipop is home run flavored. Give it up for Tony Del Vecchio.
Well, I've yet to see a home run from him. Or anybody on this team for that matter. But I'm willing to fucking, you know, just see where it goes.
One strike, still some breathing room.
If ICP were real, they would be holding a friggin' Juggalo Championship Wrestling show at Riot Fest. If they were real ones, that's what they'd be... That right there is what they would be doing. They would be holding a... You know, a special JCW show at fucking Riot Fest.
Clobbers it. Knocked down like pins at the bowling alley.
Oh, chat. No, they're crumbling.
Big dreams and a bigger swing.
They got one run and they were like, that's enough. We're fine.
Or if they're just good friends,
That's enough,
that's a
brother.
strike.
We're okay. We don't need any more.
I suggest you don't blink. What a hit. Please, that's so
Dude, 3 up, 3 down. WWE was in my town yesterday. I wish I could have been more excited.
He can
Aw.
swing with the force of a truck. It's Mr. Clanky.
Oh, what? Were they like doing a house show or something?
Flying drive.
Because tonight's SmackDown, right?
Runner on first.
I mean, even if I did have, you know, the time and money, I wouldn't really go.
Underestimate her. She's speedier than a frisbee.
One of my roommates,
Before the catcher can even get the ball out of the
one of my roommates said they wanted to go to Saturday night's main event in Fort Wayne when that happened earlier this year. And when I went to check the prices, I was absolutely gobsmacked by how much they were. Like, do you think people who live in Fort Wayne have this much money, WWE? I'll tell you, from 26 years of living here, they don't. All right? We don't have that, dude.
Hit hard. That ball had the right idea.
We don't have Fed money, okay?
And belted.
Watch out!
On the topic of music, I'm making a follow-up to that one community soundtrack thing I did a few months back. And I was wondering if you wanted to contribute to it. Absolutely, brother. I mean, like, is there a certain vibe you're going for, or what?
First and second.
They might be doing a house show. Don't know what else they'd be showing on a Thursday.
Is here to show us how it's
I
done.
don't think they'd be showing anything. Oh, wait, I know what they'd be showing. They'd be showing TNA. But tish. Rim shot. Oh, speaking of shots. Holy shit. Wow. Pablo Sanchez. That might have been the death nail for the friggin' Atomic Oysters, chat.
He may not be breathing easy.
That's the rich Ria, completely detached from humanity and reality. I'll tell you what, dude. Dude, if you're rich in Fort Wayne, then that really just means that you're able to walk your dog every day. Okay?
A powerful hit.
Dude, I didn't know Reese had this kind of power. What?
Runner on first.
He's
But no, like, the last
Dang
time you
it,
made a
why didn't I
community
put the
mod-
200 Cheetos bet on Pablo this time?
This kid is an impressive force on the plate. Just make
I
sure
mean, I don't know, man. I mean, like, this is like the series for the Grandmaster Championship of the Universe thing. And you're not over here betting on the ace?
one managed to slip through.
I'm afraid you just don't want it, man.
This
I'm
one's
afraid you
coming
just
in.
don't want it that much.
Ball two. Smelly, smelly, smelly.
Ah, Mikey!
Did anyone bring a spare?
whoever finds that ball is gonna see a teddy.
Oh my God, Mikey Thomas!
Did I hit it?
You did, man. You hit it the hardest I've ever seen you hit it, man. Oh my God!
It's Jorge Garcia.
And not only that,
Throw some slow balls down the
we didn't even need the aluminum power. One more time, chat.
Hello, Mario.
Yo, is this a reboot? It's a blast from the past right here. Banquo! It's been a minute since I've seen you here. How are you doing, man? Welcome on into tonight's Slum Boy Club meeting. I'm making it to celebrate the 20th anniversary of a Tony Hawk and Guitar Hero game, so I'm looking for mostly rock and metal songs to fit both games. Well, if it's supposed to be, goddamn, you know, a combo of Tony Hawk and Guitar Hero, I could definitely help you out there. I mean, like, fucking social distortion. I associate them most with you know, Guitar Hero 3, right? And they are incredibly Tony Hawk coded, I feel like. Our distortion. Anyways, chat, we need the music here. Oh, hey, oh.
Damn junior businessman
God damn
Jorge.
it.
I friggin'
I
hate
want
that
him to
guy.
hit the homer. Ah, are you kidding me, man?
This ball's gonna leave the field before I pop my bubble.
Man,
And drove one
that could have been epic, but it wasn't.
close to staying in play.
I wasted an aluminum power on you, brother.
Ooh, that's just
Damn, damn junior businessman, Jorge. Dude, that's Jorge Garcia Jr. to you, okay?
Back to the
That right there's Jorge Garcia Jr. to you, dude.
It's K-Man the Speed Demon up to bat. Alright, it's my time to shine.
This is why you never place your Cheetos on Jorge. I mean, dude, you've seen him freaking show out before.
Now,
Don't sit there and tell me you haven't seen him show out before.
clobbers it.
It's not my fault that you don't know ball, okay?
runners on first.
It's not my fault that you have no idea what ball is.
Baseball bot is up to bat.
Alright, hit it out of the park, dude. One more.
Rips one.
Ah, no, he didn't do it, dude. Nice.
Unloaded, and the crowd is at the
I don't know what sports is. That's a lie. You watch wrestling, dude. That's a sport.
Down here.
Everyone in this chat probably watches wrestling.
And that's a
Now, where's my goat, Angela Del Vecchio? Well, we crushed her in a previous game. It's fine. But she might be drafted in the next series. We'll see, though.
shut them down this inning. Like a
Any
bulldog.
specific social song that you like?
Swap sides.
Their cover of Ring of Fire is pretty cool. Story of My Life is the one that appeared in
Send a bigger swing.
the third Guitar Hero game.
new face steps in as batter. Let's see if the
A clean pitch down the
So like if you're looking for songs that specifically appeared, you know, in Guitar Hero, then that's one of them.
chopper to third. Wow! Didn't see that coming. Look out!
Wrestling is performative art with more Don't you sit there and sully my favorite form of art. It is a sport, brother.
in the
Solid hit.
Why must you trivialize my favorite sport here, dude?
Taking the mound.
I'm actually trying to avoid songs already in Guitar Hero, lol. Okay, well then I would use Ring of Fire then. So wait,
straight back to the outfield.
when you mention Guitar Hero, I thought that you were like saying that you want songs
On first.
from Guitar Hero. Is the mod for like both Tony Hawk and Guitar Hero or no?
Gucci. If my ballet moves don't
You know damn well wrestlers are just theater kids that can take a bump. They're also athletes, brother. And what do athletes do? They fucking play sports, okay?
ground ball up the first baseline.
They're unstoppable.
Give it your
Ah, no! Go! Oh, no, it's out of play, dude. Why must you trivialize my favorite sport?
batter is cleaning the bases.
Speaking of trivializing things, we're about to put these kids in their place.
Gotta watch your kneecaps on those taters.
It's over.
That'll do it for them this inning.
You hate to see it, folks.
Pack it in. Put the fries in the bag, brother. It's over.
Wow! 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 Humongous.
My God, dude. Dude, Reese looked like that he just shrunk like 3 sizes there for a second.
Team rides off into the sunset.
It might be if I get some charts commissioned for it. Yeah. Oh, okay.
That team played like they had absolutely nothing to lose and everything to prove. Turns out, That's a pretty good combination.
What a game!
You can
Both teams gave it their
you can
all,
now play at
but
Super
your
Colossal
Spirits
Dome.
came out on top.
At least one team showed up for this game.
Oh my god, they've just
Gone to get some dinner. My mom's making noodles.
dude. Dude, they absolutely just buried them. Wow. Check the news, dude. Okay, hold on. Let's see. From the Sandlot to Champions, Humongous Hornets complete the dream. We were losing by a lot, then we stopped doing that. I mean, to be fair, that right there is how the normal season was. Like, we were losing by a lot, and then we locked the fuck in. I dropped my bat and started running before I remembered where first base was. Mr. Clanky, he said in numerous bleeps and bloops. It's like, hold on, do I replay the season with, like, new people? Hold on just a second. It's like, what, do I just, like, replay the season? With, like, brand new people in it? Seems like it. Ah, man, dude. No, it doesn't seem like I can select new people. Okay, well, if we do this again, I want to, you know, actually, I want to, like, actually, like, remake the team a little bit. So, chat, that's it. We fucking did it. We got all of the trophies here. We got we got the playoff trophy, we got the Super Entire Nation trophy, and we got the Ultra Grand Championship of the Universe. Honestly, it's nice to have a full trophy case, chat. We did it. It's over. And we may return to this in the future. But before... Oh, they still don't have online play? That's crazy. But before we pack it in here...
Hello, Mario.
Hello, Peachy. How are you doing? Welcome on into tonight's Long Boy Club meeting. Before we pack it in here for tonight's backyard baseball thing, let's go ahead and let's try something here that is new to this game. It's a new mode. It's called Wiggle Ball. Vinny invented a new 4-on-4 game called Wiggle Ball. Give it a try. Oh wow, they have a specific field for it? It looks very small. Alright, let's try it. I'll go ahead and put it on a Playground
Step on
Pro.
up and see if you can throw a giant gold ring around a long
First
boy's
pick.
neck, ladies and gentlemen. Step on up. Come on.
So this is a 4-on-4 thing, then. You suck, Peachy.
Or maybe you didn't.
You stink.
Owe me $10 either way.
Got Chipper Jones here. And you know what? Given how Banquo hasn't been here for a minute, we'll draft his GOAT first.
I hope I don't hurt my back when I carry this team.
She is one to carry the team. So,
Better not leave Sugar Pop on the sidelines.
with pitches slicker than Tony's hair and the batting skills of a pro, she's sure to be an asset to any team.
Finally, I thought I was gonna have to trade a lollipop to be on the team.
Right. Oh, and of course they go for Pablo, dude. Of course. Right, well let's try and like put together a team that's a little bit she's sick with it. Dude. She's sick with it.
Don't overthink it. Just
What the-
go ahead and pick. I'm not saying you made the wrong decision.
I'm sorry, what?
Please the odds. I am the odds.
Chat, what is this? Quiet, mysterious, and suddenly unstoppable. Amy Bostwick plays like that she's got something to prove, and so far nobody's been able to stop her. Oh really? Is that why her stats are so bad? Can you make OCs in this now, huh? I mean, kinda, yeah. Like, you can make, like, custom characters. But, like... Here. Here, actually, let's actually go ahead and let's fucking make just, like, a random kid here.
I am strong in some areas and weak in others. Or perhaps I'm an all-arounder.
Talk about myself. I'm a kid. Plays baseball.
That's a fucking W, brother. I know that for a fact. Oh my god, you can make him a pinhead? That's awesome. Or a football head, whichever one you want.
I'm strong.
Not sure what to say.
I am strong in some areas, and I'm not sure what to say.
I have many hobbies.
I talk about myself.
Not sure what to say. I have many hobbies.
You know what? I enjoy this voice the most because it sounds absolutely nothing like like how a kid should sound like. I'll give him the friggin' like Amish bowl cut. Oh goodness me. Goodness me, dude. Here, hold on. I'll make him a good runner. Decent fielder. I'm not gonna give him pitching though.
Not only can I carry a tune, I can carry a team.
There we go. And that will be our man right there. Custom kid. Can I like... No. You know what? He will simply be custom kid. Invalid name. Hey, that's not nice. What? Custom kid's not nice? What about custom kid isn't nice, chat? What about it? What about that is not nice? Okay, fine. You know what? I'll name him fucking... Here, how about this? What is... What are these names? What are these names? Like they just put in one giant fucking word. Hoagie Hustle is crazy. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that to him. Welcome to the neighborhood. Create your first custom kid. Oh my god, you can have like a roster of custom kids too. That's insane. My god, they got Mr. Clinky and Pablo on this team? That's unfair. That seems very unfair.
I'm Keisha
Hi.
Ports. You may remember me from my appearance on the championship podium.
I mean, I didn't see you there, dude. You were not on the Humongous Hornets.
Good move. You are smart, huh?
You need at least one. You need at least one Phil Lathio on your team. What are you talking about, brother? Also, why? Chat, I didn't I completely big lead this before. But why is Amy Bostwick a calculator?
Shoot, warmed up my glove and everything.
Philatio. I still don't know what that is. What is that? Here. Here, I'll give you
Hey kid, if you wanna win, you're gonna.
Phil, lay down on the side of the road here. I'm gonna get Vinny the Gooch. I hope that's good enough. All right, here we go.
A hearty hi-ho, sports fans.
It's another word for oral sex.
Game of baseball. I'm Sunny Day, and with me is Vinny the Gooch.
How's it going?
Well, Vinny, today seems like a bright and sunny day. Perfect for a round of baseball, don't you think?
Sure. Until you get a nasty glare in your eye. Sonny, let me tell you, back in '01, I remember a kid was perfectly lined up to steal a base, but then got
Well, we're not doing that.
in his eye. He couldn't see and thought the ball had been thrown ahead of him, so he turned around, but his turning
Huge
around
ass.
attention.
You know what? I should make huge ass, honestly.
Vinny, that's quite a story. Well, hopefully our player...
I should make huge jazz, honestly.
The kid then goes up to pitch and
Vinny.
he's aiming real tried and true.
Vinny!
What? What's the matter?
Don't you think it's time to start the game?
Anally. Oh no. Oh no. Annalie. No. No, I fucking understand what you're doing there.
Trust me, kid. You may not feel it now, but you will when you get to my age.
We're the same age, Vinny.
Nah. In opposing dugouts,
I just love how he concedes.
Lumpy turtles.
Amanda, hug and kiss. I'm looking for a man to hug and kiss. Dude. Aren't we all? I got a call for a huge ass. Wait, so it's like, who's supposed to be on the left side of the field here? I'm afraid the rules have not been told to me, dude.
Powerhouse, Pablo Sanchez walking up to bat.
Even though the secret weapon doesn't speak any English, we all know he's a rad dude.
She may not have the strongest arms, but don't let...
All right, let's see.
He's one splendid pitcher.
Leaky bum, Mick Groin. Or rather, Mike Groin.
Hit hard past the mound.
Oh, goodness gracious. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Stand up, Devil. Kids got wheels.
Oh, no. I can already see what this is going to turn out to be, dude.
Clanky is up to bat. I didn't know he was even allowed to play.
Back towards the outfield. They're on the board, folks.
Dick to blow. Dude, this ball is ass, actually. This ball is actually straight dookie right here.
Easy, but Reese Worthington is calm at bat.
Reese has allergies, but he's not allergic to home runs.
Did you forget your glasses?
There we go. Nice. I enjoy how, like, the ball has physics like that, though.
2 strikes now. Gotta be careful. Sorry, fans.
I will not be naming any of the created characters these things, by the way.
I think my arms are too short for this sport. With some real farm-raised muscle, Marky Dubois is ready to hammer it home.
I will not be fucking naming it that, chat. It's not happening.
In goes the batter. They're aggressive, tenacious. I love it. The living legend, Pablo Sanchez is here.
Oh my god, we're gonna be seeing a lot of the same characters, huh? We're gonna be seeing a lot of the same characters here. Oh my gosh! Okay, I was about to say, if you can't catch that, then I would have been very, very concerned.
I heard Keisha once hit a ball so hard that the seams fell off.
That one's headed left.
Nice. Okay, so apparently you only have, like, 2 hits here that you can do.
Look out! Here comes the newcomer, ready to rock this stadium.
Let's see if this kid.
And he has his AirPods in. He can't hear us.
Good standing there. Personally, I like the sneakers.
Oh shit, Hoagie has his earpods in. He can't hear us.
Did I just hear that ball say ow?
Nice.
You won't even have Seymour Butts on your team? Or Ivana Schmacken.
If he's trying, there's no stopping him. It's
I want to shake my ass.
hammered down the middle.
Oh, nice. 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 No. Dang, dude.
Always cool under pressure. It's Angela Sugar Pie.
All right, we got your freaking girl over here, Banquo. Let's do it. I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, like, I would like a Seymour Butts on my team. Having a Seymour Butts on my team, that would probably be the one I would go for, if anything. Or Huge Ass. Dang.
Better luck next time.
I'm sorry, Banquo. I couldn't do your goat justice this time.
Our favorite baseball bot is up to bat.
Especially not that one. Especially not that one, Dan.
There's 2 strikes. No more room for error here.
Alright, let's see if I can get him out.
A solid pitch with personality.
Well, how about this? I struck out Mr. Clanky. Does that work for you, Banquo? Is that a good enough substitution?
Reese Worthington up to bat.
She could do it all. I'll give you an out with like Angela Del Vecchio. How about that?
The ball whizzes down towards center.
That's strike 2.
You bought a fan, 'cause you're about to get a whiff.
So I can kind of see like what they're doing with this mode here, but it's really just like one field. It's smaller. You don't have as much field coverage, which seems to be the point. Bro's batting box is the size of a cheese. Yeah, Reese Worthington is not the best. No, he's not the best guy ever, you know? Harry Balls. Okay, so... Listen. Dan. Chat. I'm about to give you a Fort Wayne history lesson, alright? While we're on the subject of funny names that sound like sexual innuendo, I may as... Damn it. I may as well, you know, go ahead and give you a bit of a history lesson. In Fort Wayne, we have a long history of mayors, right? But one of them is one that I was constantly joking around about when I worked at the news station. Everyone was joking about him because of his name, and it made us laugh a lot, right? He served for several years as mayor, and he has a whole name, and he has a whole street named after him, does this mayor. I will give you one guess each to what this man's name is.
Pure power at bat. They don't call Keisha Phillips Slugger for nothing.
Time to send this ball on vacation.
You will not fucking believe it when I tell you.
And that's a strike.
Izzy Cummings. No. That's not his name.
And felt it.
Hint, it's been said already. It's been said already as a joke.
Here comes the newcomer, ready to rock this stadium.
My time to shine.
That one's driven deep. That'll send him back to the dugout.
Yeah, I need to fucking, like, just send it. No.
To that, it's my dear friend.
No, his name is not Hugh Jazz. Dildo. No. No. I told you it's been said already. You didn't say dildo yet.
Strike 3.
Seymour Butts. No.
Always cool under pressure. It's
His name is Harry Balls. And like, it isn't spelled like Harry Bawls Ball. Like, it's literally just Harry Balls. Okay? It is Harry, like, as in the name Harry, and then balls like basketballs. Right? It's not like a stylized version of saying balls. It's literally like just, oh man, this fucking guy's name is Harry Balls. Which means that in Fort Wayne, we have a street in the downtown area that is literally called Harry Balls Drive. Named after the iconic mayor, Harry Balls. And to me, that's just incredible, dude. That right there is just incredible fucking city planning right there. Like whoever decided on Harry Balls Drive, I need them to be kissed on the cheek because that's a good piece of business right there. Okay. Oh yes, I live on Harry Balls Drive. Do you live on Harry Balls Drive? Do ya? Oh shit! Big home run from Keisha Phillips, courtesy of Harry Balls. Hell yeah, dude. Nice.
Taking the mound today.
Self high five. You love to see it.
Watch me go.
That's our goat there, dude. That's our fucking goat.
I wouldn't want to be in the path of that hit.
Had a blast watching stream tonight, Stev, but I am getting quite tired. Thanks again for the song. If you have any more, let me know. Chad, what songs, what cool ass songs should Mr. Infinite Tequila put into his Tony Hawk mod? Bart Fokker. That is not a song title to my knowledge. Nice. Made contact. That's all we need, dude.
We've got a runner on first and second. Careful now. In walks the power-hitting Angela Del Vecchio.
But with a swing like that,
I keep forgetting to play the sound whenever she trips over at the plate like that. Oh! There you go. There you fucking go, dude. There you go. Your goat showed up. A little bit late, but she showed up. My goat and yours. Angela Del Vecchio showed up. Big Fairy! Just in time with the long boys, girls, NBs, and AGs. Thank you very much for bringing your lovely community on over here. Hopefully you've been having a good time lately. And thank you very much. What were you playing over on your end, and did you have fun doing it?
Look out! Here comes the newcomer, ready to rock this stadium.
Get ready to
On
see
just a
some
second here.
baseball.
I want to wait for this friggin' inning to be over. Hold on. Hold on just a second. I'll give you a shout out here while I have you. Everyone go and follow Pig Fairy. They're one of my longer term friends here. Rather they're someone that I've known for, you know, a very long time. And they're very, very cool. Y'all should go and follow them. It looks like they kind of changed their shit in, you know, the time since I last spoke to them. Looks like. Oh my god, your profile picture is so cute, Pig Fairy. I love it. Oh, you're a VTuber now too. That's sick as hell.
Hello,
I love
Mario.
that. I love that for you so much. Okay, cool. Hello, Idea Maker. How are you doing tonight? Yes, it's my new VTuber model. It's so cute. I love it.
And that's a ball, folks.
Everyone go and follow Pig Fairy, please. I would really love and kiss you if you did. Mwah.
One
No.
managed to slip through.
Dick Hurts. Fucking CZW legend Dick Hurts. That's insane. I'm drafting him, like, immediately.
Strike. The fielders
Sure, man, we take those.
on first and second. Up to that, it's my dear friend Vinny the Gooch.
The Del Vecchios send their regards.
Chat, I hear a fly in this room. I hear a fly in this room, chat.
Two strikes. No pressure.
I hear the buzzing,
Those kids are
and
gonna
it's
wish they had
driving me insane.
They shut them down this inning.
I hear the buzzing, and it's driving me nuts. I just try to put my headphones in and not pay attention to it. I'm gonna try and put my headphones in and not pay attention to it. I'll cuff my ears. I'll cut my ears like Mr. Krabs. I can still hear it.
Sanchez is here to show us how it's done.
The secret weapon always looks like he's ready to belt one out of the park.
We were playing Peak. We almost made it to Gloom, but a friend of mine had to go watch a movie. I've not played Peak yet, but I would like to at some point. I just need to find a group that wants to play it with me.
Strike one. What a skillful throw.
But getting like a group together for something like that feels challenging sometimes, you know.
Gotta swing at the right time.
I will say that this mode is certainly one of the modes ever. I do not feel any... I feel no strong feelings towards it one way or another.
Bot is up to bat. We want a batter, not a broken ladder.
Ooh, that pitch is sure to twist him up.
But no, Pig Fairy, I hope that you've been doing well lately. It's been a minute since, you know, I've heard from you. And between Peachy season and Pig Fairy, you know, kind of coming back into my orbit, it's a little bit... It's a little bit of a reminder that, you know, the world is small, in a way. Okay, I got engaged, by the way, so that's exciting. Oh, congratulations. I love that for you.
Hope you bought a fan, because you're about to get a whiff.
Mazel tov, one would say. I think that's what you say at a wedding. I mean, I was the best man at my best friend's wedding, so I would hope so. I would hope I know what you say at a wedding.
Strike three. Better luck next time.
I think my My shoelace
With
was
some
under
real
it.
farm-raised
That's why
muscle,
I missed.
Marky Dubois is ready to hammer it home.
Howdy, I'm ready to go.
Oh, I know you are, brother.
May you have a happy marriage, Pick Fairy. Sincerely, the homunculus.
the bald ass Stone Cold homunculus. What?
Look out! That pitch had some heat.
And Gatorade to it too, it looks like.
Sorry in advance.
There we go. But no. Raiders.
Strikes now. Gotta be
Raiders from Pick Fairy's side. If you are unaware of who I am, excuse me. If you're unaware of who I am, my name is GirafaStev, and we just won this baseball game.
your route. That'll end this inning.
Oh wait, no. You know what? No. I don't want to do this for 6 innings.
Their best
Respectfully, I do not.
Duckies has earned the right to celebrate.
That was a satisfying win. Both teams gave
Respectfully, I don't want to play 6 innings of this.
See you next time.
That's fine. Yeah, I mean, like, that's kind of a neat little way to, you know, change things up. But it just kind of feels a little bit like less of what's already there, you know? It just kind of feels like a more truncated version of the normal game. But yeah. Pick Fairy Raiders. For those of you who do not know me, I am GirafaStev. I specialize in pro wrestling games and pro wrestling content, but I also do, as you can see, other sports games, such as baseball, and maybe in the future football as well, because, like, I've been kind of, you know, learning more about that, and, well, chat, I'm beyond the point of no return, okay? I'm officially a normie. I am a normie. I feel like it's always a baseball game when I raid you. Well, half the time right now it's baseball and the other half is wrestling, it feels like. Maybe don't do the in chat. But no, chat. I know, I can now watch a football game and understand the plays and why they would do it, right? I can now watch a football game and like understand what's happening on the field and why they're doing certain plays. You know? John Madden. No, if you like that kind of stuff, I would really appreciate a follow over here. We are trying to get to 1,000 followers by the end of this year. If we do, we will host 1K Mania, which will be a celebration of the Long Boy Club in Wrestling Empire, one of my favorite wrestling games of all time. We will hold dream matches. We will crown the very first ever Long Boy Club Pro Champion, and so much more. So, yes, please follow. I would appreciate that very much. Well, that concludes tonight's portion of Backyard Baseball. But chat, we have a post show to do here, too. And you know, it's a long one. It's a big, long match. It is Bryan Danielson versus Roderick Strong in Ring of Honor. And I believe 2006 or 5. Yeah. It's Super Card of Honor 2006. It's Roderick Strong versus Danielson for the Ring of Honor Championship. And we're gonna watch that during tonight's post show here. While I kind of talk about just like certain things, like wrestling itself, and the WWE swimming pool that somehow exists and is not officially licensed. Like, chat, you need to see this swimming pool. First off, hold on. I'm actually not gonna put you in suspense here. I'm gonna go ahead and just show it to you. WWE swimming pool. Dude, it's gotta be here. It has to be here. It has to be here, dude. It has to be here. I saw it on TikTok like a while ago. If I can't find it, I'm gonna take a photo of it and send it to you guys like if I can't find it, here, I'm gonna fucking go ahead and take a screenshot of it and share it on the stream. Serious question I wanted to ask before I forget again, Stev. I remember you saying you were considering playing an episode of a glitch show for potential post-show content. Do you have any idea of what show you might be interested in having us watch? I don't know, probably The Amazing Digital Circus. I mean, I feel like... Wait, hold on. I do love the pool. What about Gameoverse? I mean, like, that one just doesn't feel as impactful. You know? I don't know, Gameoverse just doesn't seem as impactful. Hold on just a second here. Chat, are we, like, still going? It says I have no internet access. we may just need to, like, duck out here. There's also Knights of, Guinevere and, Gaslight District. I've heard of Knights of Guinevere before. It's got waifu stars that can only go for so long. I mean, listen, man. Waifus will get you very far in life, okay? Waifus will get you very far in this lifetime. Is it not Gameoverse, or is it, like, Gameoverse? Hold on. I'm looking at the WWE swimming pool. Literally, the moment that I tried to freaking show this to you guys, it doesn't go on. It's Gameoverse. Okay, got it. Come on, give me this. Give it to me, man. Give me the WWE swimming pool. The children yearn to fucking do Death Valley drivers and burning hammers into their inflatable swimming ring. You know? The children yearn to freaking break each other's necks in the inflatable swimming ring. I don't know what else to tell you, man. Currently sold out. Well, no, listen, man, I understand. I understand that, but I just want, like, an image of it. Hold on. Inflatable pool. Alright, well, chat, I'm gonna fucking find this thing, and while I do, you stick around, and we'll go, and we'll fucking watch some real graphs here soon. See you all in a few.